I am canceling my classic grade just so we can spend more time together. Hope you guys appreciate it. We got ourselves Damon, I'm gonna call you Damon, over on the, I like his glasses too. Look at this, man. What a distinguished gentleman. I mean, don't worry about the war paint or anything. He is a distinguished young man. Got us as Damon, we got us as a grip on that team, Alex on that team. I love that mount, I like that mog. First up is gonna be Shaman, bro. Shaman Zeiss? I'm gonna call it Shaman McFlurry, getting blasted out by Lava Burst, trying to see if he can get himself a bit of a setup. Lava, oh, trying to go for a bit of a breath, but Shaman was dipping on the ground, didn't even notice. Gonna be a poly, trying to see if he can let a poly. It's gonna be tricking out of the Shaman is McFlurry, trying to see if he can McFlurry down Shaman. Got himself a wall, Ray of Frost, get that kick, could be in a bad spot, doesn't have to wait, doesn't end up waiting out too long for that interrupt to lock him down for too long. Lava Burst flying in for Shaman. Wall was used earlier on. They're trying to go for a bit of an Ice Fury. Does he himself the big one-shot banger potentially? He isn't playing Stormkeeper, but still got plenty of Lava Burst damage, plenty of up, but Shaman trying to go for a bit of that healing surge, but also making sure to cover his escape with a bit of that Spirit Walker's Grace to give him the immunity to getting interrupted into AO. Trying to see if he can get himself big. So, was that a Shadow Meld? Was that an Invis? He somehow avoided the Lava Burst entirely, or he kind of procs. Lava Burst didn't proc, even though he got Primordialed. What happened? Big flurries off of McFlurry with lances, absolutely slamming through the Shaman's health bar. McFlurry, though, does poke out as an Earthy Elemental, stunning him in place, got himself a bit of the Ultra. Shaman, I think, tried to see if he could maybe clean him off of all the buffs, and I think he was able to do so easily. Shift and Power does not have an interrupt for it, actually does get an interrupt a little bit later with an Earth Shock. If you go for Earth Shock, Frost Shock combos, you can really slow down McFlurry in place for a good bit of time. Try to go for a poly, but try not to get interrupted. Does get rooted around the corner, not sitting that root for long at all, though. Frostbomb getting set up with a Ring of Frost, making it difficult for Shamans to maybe escape. Looking for Hex, doesn't get a proper Hex. Then it's going to be a Rare Frost around the corner, doesn't have the shrimp, just trying to see if he can heal right through it. It is able to stabilize himself, but McFlurry still trying to pelt him down with those lances back to back. Lava Burst flying in. Shaman's got himself yet another stun. Big Skykeeper Lava Burst with a Primordial plowing right through McFlurry, trying to see if he can maybe get himself a bit more of a winning position with a poly, with a frozen orb. It's going to be able to get himself Frost Bomb. That could be huge here. Lightning Lasso to stop a lot of McFlurry's damage. Does get exploded on for a second. Trying to land himself another poly. Hoping to just keep Shaman's locked in that poly as best as possible. He got that poly that doesn't let the guy recover any health during it. So that's going to be huge for him. Burrow down for just a second. Shift to Power interrupted, which is not going to be great for the mage. Trying to go for yet another poly. Does go for an interrupt. This way he can go for another poly yet again. But the Earth Shock's flying in, Lava Burst flying in. If you can get a Maelstrom procs right now, Shamans could be in a huge spot. Trying to go for big Primordial. Sky is going to be Lava Burst, but he just does not get the back-to-back procs of Lava Burst at all with the Primordial. He does a bit of damage, but just not enough. Flurry might be in a bad spot and just eat some meatball for breakfast, with Laura going to be up next, trying to give this man as much of an honor duel, even enough to let his Frosty Shield from the mage get absolutely eaten up by those Lava Bursts back-to-back. Is going to go for the IBF to break out of the lasso. Hex to follow. Does have a trinket. Doesn't want to burn it yet. No. Doesn't end up burning it. I think he was kind of waiting out for a better position. Is able to break out of the roots with a death advance. It's going to be Shaman's looking for a bit of a heal. Dropping down Grotting Totem for just a second, and could be, honestly, Shaman's situation here. Unless... Wait, hold on. Lore with an AMS. He's actually just unstoppable. He got himself a grippy hand. That's going to be Skykeeper and everything. Shaman's could be in a really tight spot. Silence for a second. Hex needs it. Does get interrupted. I think it just might be over. Trying to see if he can live it. Are you death calling the guy down as a Frost Death Knight? What is this? Either would be a move. That, or he's trying to go maybe for a bit of a healing while Lichborn was active. I'm not quite sure. And Alex also trying to give Lore a bit of the honor duel. He saw Lore give honor duel to the Shaman, did not rush him immediately, wants to give this man as much of a fair chance as well. And Lore is taking it. He's taking it. Man's gonna be a little bit behind on some of his cooldowns though. He doesn't have his wait, are you Frost or Unholy? For some reason I assumed you were Frost. You are Unholy though. For some reason, why did I think you were Frost? I was looking for Frost cooldowns. I was gonna say he doesn't have Pillar of Ice, but no wonder he doesn't have Pillar of Ice. That makes sense actually, because it's not even the right spec. No wonder you're death coiling. That actually makes all the sense in the world. Lichborn is active. Maybe that'll give you a little survivability, but the Warriors just slam right through you with a throw. You just took him out with a throw. That is such a good move. I love that one. Oh my god, the classic, dude. Hit him with that classic Katarina. Also trying to give this man a bit of an honor duel. Alex doing a bit of a dance of his own. My goodness, man. Oh, that is so, so good. That throw finisher, that is a classic. That's been the thing since, like, I don't know when Heroic Throw was added, but I remember in Mists of Pandaria, or even the Cataclysm, people were like, pogging whenever, I guess pogging wasn't a term at the time, but essentially pogging for back in the day. Every time you got like a throw, like a rogue throw weapon with a little dagger kill, or when you got like a heroic throw kill, oh, the satisfaction out of that. Like, just if you didn't play warrior with that, with the heroic throw executes, or if you played a rogue with that throw execute, oh, it is a satisfying thing. It is the best. When you leave the enemy with literally 1 health, quick throw, take him out. It is so, so, so good. Katarina tried to go for a bit of a slowdown onto Alex, playing an Archimage, got himself plenty of mobility. Going to be a reflect. It's actually going to be Katarina reflecting and interrupt back at himself, procking or force procking the, what's it called? The, not primordial, not temporal, precognition, precog? Proc in the precog to give himself immunity to interrupts and CC for a little bit of time, which could be huge. That's like the best thing you can do as a mage when a warrior got a reflect up. And actually Katarina taking a bit of that damage. That is going to be all the time. Alex is there to greet him with a fear. That's going to be immediate trinket out of Katarina, trying to go for a bit of a go versus the mage, but locked down in the Ring of Frost as well as Ring of Fire with an Arcane Surge. Got himself reflect, trying to make sure he doesn't have any immunity, but look at that. That interrupt reflect, you're now immune to that stun that the warrior threw at you. It is huge. All those missiles flying, and Alex got himself a bit of that parry, as well as the damage reduction while the parry is active. That is going to help him at least stabilize a little bit against the Arcane Mage, as long as he doesn't have any dots. Second one kicking in, 32% dampening is going to reduce a little bit of that healing, quite a bit of it in fact. But Katarina at least got himself that perfect opener. And Alex cannot really close that distance unless he goes for a leap or a charge. He's got to find a way to close that distance while without having to use his mobility abilities either. That charge actually close enough. Katarina with a blink could blink back. It's going to be a Blaze Storm, gives you at least immunity to any kind of slows. Big touch of the magic onto Alex, could be in a bad spot. Got himself a bit of reflect. Katarina unable to reflect and interrupt back at himself. Interrupt onto Katarina. Alex is still stunning the Katarina though. There's a blink available, so the mage is able to counter the warriors you see quite handle, and Alex still taking quite a bit of the damage, but he's able to recover behind the pillar, looking for a bit of a mount up. Katarina not charging at Alex, not trying to finish this game off, just trying to see if he can whittle him out until he gets himself a good position. Alex playing around pillars at least gives him a bit of that cover. Got himself a leap. Katarina not using movement or anything, just trying to see if he can use defenses in order to survive it. Breath onto Alex. Polly right after, kind of stuck out in the open. Katarina looking for cooldown reduction. As a warrior versus a mage, this is definitely one of your hardest matchups. It is not unwinnable. It is definitely ridiculously tough. Does go for the root as he tried to go for a charge. That is also going to be touching the magic. Able to back away from the mage for a little bit, but that wall of missiles is flying in. Having to pop a parry. Touching the magic, still able to stack up quite a bit of damage. Looking for a bit of a heal. That is still so much. Next barrage, I think it's over. There isn't much you can do, especially with the fact that Arcane Mages, once you get low, basically actually do have an execute. Every time the barrage just hits harder just because you're low health. And it's like reducing PvP a little, but it's still very, very highly effective. Interrupt for interrupt as Demon trying to see if he can land himself maybe a Shadow Fury around the corner. Katarina looking to walk in. There goes the full Observer. They actually nerf the damage the Observer can do, as well as the Fiery Portal. The fiery red one that's belching all those flames at Katarina. 30% reduction on that thing. And the Demon, I think now he does 8% of your health and damage with every beam instead of 10. So it's a little bit less damage, a little bit less terrifying, but still plenty effective. I mean, that's just a very, very, very small difference in damage output. For Demon though, he might not be able to win with portals and the Observer alone though. So he's gonna have to get himself a proper setup. Try to go for a stun to Katarina. I guess maybe he thought he would juke while he was gonna he thought he was gonna zig when he actually zagged, I guess, and kind of missed that Shadow Fury altogether. Blink out of the mage. This could be a perfect opportunity for a stun. I don't know if Demon has one available or not. It's to a big Arcade Surge. Fear, try to see if he can get himself a Mortal Coil. Wall is available. Looking for Incinerates. As long as he can get himself a big blaster. And Cat taking those missiles around the corner. Just blasting Demon as he got himself a wall. Wall expires. The touch of the magic is going to slam on him. Can't to follow. Does get interrupted with an Observer up in the air. Katarina cannot really go aggressive while the Observer has line inside of Katarina. If you do any kind of damage while the thing sees you, that is going going to be quite a bit of that health damage. Katarina's still holding on to an ice block, so he's got himself a big defensive demon. Can at least put in some pressure on the guy, but his pet is gets separated away from his pet, which isn't ideal. If you can go for those interrupts on shifting power, or at least take away any kind of buffs that Katarina gets, every time he gets a shield, if you can start like spell stealing it with your pet devouring the magic, that's going to be huge for your pet. You have to be doing that pretty aggressively every single time you can. Does land the interrupt in between of those balls. Looked for a jig, but just couldn't find one. Into a Shadow Fury, has himself a blink to break out of this one. But Katarina is kind of lowish on health, and that's an extra portal spawning in. Constant pressure onto the mage. He got himself the temporal shield, which maybe will give him some recovery, but kind of low on health actually. Not much they can really do. Also, they did recently nerf the shield, so Prismatic Barrier isn't as effective. It doesn't reduce the damage of magic damage as much, and it doesn't reduce the duration of magic effects on the Archmage nearly as much, which will give Demon at least some kind of a go. Katarina sees the balloon demon way up in the air. Observer, back it up out of there. Does try to see if he can relocate behind the pillar. Ends up porting back over just to get a little bit of health. Got himself at least a bit of a shield. Looking to just run away from Demon. Actually, in line the side of the Observer, but not close enough to get beamed, I guess. Shifting power for the mage does take a full-on gate, but his demon trying to chase after Katarina, trying to go for a go. Maybe an interrupt, missing that kick, follow him over Katarina. Do you have yourself a full setup? Right now, this could be huge. Interrupt him on fire. You need someone way to get out of. Oh, I was gonna say, you need something to get out of the way of that chaos bolt, but just didn't have anything at the end. And Demon is able to whittle him down over time. Saya is going to be up next as a Zandalari Paladino, charging in over a Demon, trying to see if he can get himself a setup into a full Shield of Vengeance stun available. Wake of Ashes to be able to even stun up the Demon. For Demon, he really needs to swap out the pets. Really needs to get himself a Succubus, because that thing at least will slow down the Holy Saya, and it can do the Succubus seduction to at least CC him a little bit. I mean, the Fellhound can be useful, but not nearly as universally good against melee as the Succubus Demon. He doesn't know where to go. He got nowhere to be. He got himself full wings active, and Cobra is going to be second to last over on that team to fight off through the Paladina. He's got to find a way to combat the this holy retribution righteous threat before him. But at this point, I mean, he's getting at least a bit of that honor duel. How's Saya doing? He's actually got some bubble. He's got Shield of Vengeance. I imagine Spell Warden as well. So you should have everything, right? Or should have just about everything available, if I'm not wrong here. Oh man, am I gonna be late on that? Oh, beautiful. Oh, wrong one. That's going to be a shield defensive for Cobra. Does get interrupted to Saya, charging in, full wings available. That is going to be a bit of a backup for Cobra, but looking for a bit of a different position. The Observer is up in the air, and actually quite a bit of Paladin abilities do count as magic spells, or in that spell category, enough for the Observer to beam down Saya. So for Cobra, if he can position himself correctly while Saya got full cooldowns, that could be damage reversed back into Saya, which could be huge. Succubus CC tricking out of Saya, trying to see if he can get himself a bit of setup. Stun on Jacoby does not have enough for this one. Has to go in for the wall. Saya no longer has wings though, so at least his damage does not have the full force, blunt force behind it. Might be a bubble here. Try to see if he can hold on to the bubble as long as possible until he does take a full-on hit to bat that just reversed it entirely. My goodness, Saya. Them bubbles though are so good. If you can delay those as long as possible to gain the most value, timing that with the Chaos Bolt traveling midair, that could be tough at times. Mortal, no immunity, I don't think. Hold on, Saya could be in a lot of trouble. I think might just be done and done here. Corbin just needs a little bit more damage. Looking for Incinerate Sphere to follow. Just trying to CC Saya's Soulfire. Does go for Layer Hands. Not going to be enough meatball to the face. And Cobra does end up taking him with Masterfoot, taking him out with just a bite or two. With Grifka rushing out there. 74% dampening. You're not healing anymore. Whatever trinkets, whatever cooldowns you can get out of the enemy target, the better. And right now, for Masterfoot, it might be a trinket situation. Full sepsis by Griff, Shadow Blades are available and everything. Cheap shot to follow, secret technique right after, trying to see if he can just cleave down the Druid. Druid just, all he can do is press bear for him. Heart of the Wild, start trying to heal at 74% dampening. At least his healing has been buffed recently, but like that's about all he can do, just let Thorns do damage to the Rogue. That's literally all he has access to. Blind trinkets out of it, Gouge to follow. Oh no. Yeah, it's, oh my god. I think a Battle Master trinket ticked out at the end, didn't it? Everybody got a chance to play evenly. That was so good. Oh, that's my favorite, dude. The duels where everybody gets a chance to play and everybody gets like an opportunity. I love that. Let's get us another one going, boys, yeah?